Of the F1 World Championship is on Schumacher territory and should produce a ferocious battle between German rivals BMW and Mercedes. Michael's win in Canada sets up the perfect spectacle in front of his adoring fans, but it's not an all Schumacher front row. Kimi Räikkönen achieves his first F1 pole position here at the Nürburgring, just like fellow Finn and McLaren driver Mika Häkkinen in 1997. He'll be hoping his engine can last the distance, unlike Mika's did. Räikkönen converts pole into the lead while Ralf seizes the opportunity to take advantage of his brother. Panis dives down the outside and gets an eyeful of Montoya's struggle for survival. The Renaults battle it out with each other. It looks like Alonso has it until Trulli resumes the lead over his teammate. The positions settle down with Räikkönen leading Ralf, Michael, Barrichello, Montoya, Trulli and Alonso. But Kimi is peerless as he storms away into the distance, setting fastest lap after fastest lap. Heidfeld makes light work of Verstappen, but Villeneuve is forced into combat with the Minardis. Rewind to 97 and Jacques won his last Formula 1 race here. 6 years later he runs wide and spins 360 degrees. Now he struggles to win 19th from Wilson. He closes on the Minardi, but he hits a bollard in the chicane. A broken front wing will need emergency action. History does repeat itself for McLaren. Räikkönen's engine chokes out plumes of smoke. Handing the lead to Ralf. Kimi is left on the sidelines to cool down and ponder what nearly was. Trulli had been quick all weekend, but a suspected fuel pump failure sacrifices his afternoon and a points finish. Olivier Panis made his point in Canada 2 weeks ago, but a brake problem forces him to lock up and retire. Race leader Ralf made his final stop and retained the lead, but second place David Coulthard gets too attached to his refueler. He loses time and rejoins behind Alonso. Montoya loses no time at all, closing on Schumacher. He'd love to overtake the champion at his home Grand Prix. Michael covers the inside line, so Montoya takes the outside. He gives him space, but Michael runs out of track. It was an audacious move, but that's racing at the highest level. Michael's in the gravel, but it isn't over yet. He signals for help. He's in a dangerous place, but as long as he keeps the engine running, he can legally rejoin the race. Further down the field, experience takes on youth. Coulthard hopes he can show Alonso how it's done. But he's obliged to take rapid avoiding action that leaves him spinning into the gravel. No marshals can get him out of there. He has clear views on the incident and is absolutely furious. To celebrate the news that the BMW and Williams partnership will continue until the end of 2009, Ralf Schumacher takes the checkered flag. It's his first victory since Malaysia last year, the scene of the last Williams 1-2. Barrichello completes the podium. Webber gets his best finish of the year and Heidfeld does well to finish 8th after starting in the pit lane. But the normally reserved Ross Brawn shows how out of practice he is at accepting defeat.
The manoeuvre that Montoya pulled could have taken them both out of the race. It was just a very crude overtaking manoeuvre. And he knocked David out here last year, he knocked Michael out this year, so he's not a very classy driver in that respect.
Classy or not, the result leapfrogs Ralf and Montoya ahead of Alonso, and Michael increases his lead over Kimi. McLaren slipped to 3rd in the Constructors, while the battle for 5th intensifies. There are plenty of smiles, but there's little time to reflect as the teams move straight on to France for the only back-to-back of the season. Manicourt 2002 saw Michael Schumacher take his 5th World Championship, but he won't be repeating that feat today. He starts from 3rd behind the Williams pair, with brother Ralph on pole position. Actor Jean Reno lends his support to compatriot Olivier Panis, while Trulli and Alonso get a boost from the local crowd in their team's home country. There's no margin for error with the championship this close. The frontrunners are all gunning for the win. Ralph stays ahead with his teammate not far behind, but Michael has the worst start, losing a place to Raikkonen and nearly losing one to Coulthard. Michael recovers, leaving DC to spar with Jarno Trulli. And Barrichello has his hands full with Alonso. Ralph leads Montoya, Raikkonen, Michael, Coulthard with the Renaults heading up Rubens and Webber, but no, Barrichello's lost it. He gets his line wrong in the new chicane and spins across the start-finish line and falls to the back of the field. Williams have proved they can fight it out with Ferrari and McLaren. With renewed faith, Ralph is striving for 2 wins in a week and increases his lead at the front. So far, so good for Renault. Their drivers are separated by 1 second and both are in the points. Tyre degradation is a paramount concern here, so most drivers are 3-stopping. Jenson Button crawls to a halt after a fuel delivery problem at his pit stop. The mechanics were waiting for him, but he doesn't make it back for a top-up. With the first round of pit stops out of the way, the positions are largely unchanged. Ralph still leads Montoya, Raikkonen, Coulthard and Michael. Renault's aim for a reliability record of 80% is beginning to slip away as Alonso suffers an engine blow. On the same lap, Fisichella's engine goes up in smoke. Trulli has been crawling. He finally calls it a day and retires after falling back to 9th. McLaren suffer problems with their refuelling rig and have to switch to the spare hose. Coulthard is given the all clear, but he is still too attached to that fuel rig. The refueler manages to disconnect the hose and David finally gets underway. No one is injured, but Coulthard's charge has taken a severe bruising. Montoya tries to use strategy to get ahead, but Ralph is quick to react and he too pits early to ensure Juan Pablo can't make up the difference and leapfrog him into the lead. There's no favouritism at Williams, but he will not be pleased with this one. The world champ's in next. He uses his tactics and new tyres to full effect to steal 3rd from Raikkonen. But no one is taking anything from Ralph. For the 2nd time in a week, he takes the checkered flag in 1st place. He has led every lap of the race, even through his pit stop. It's the 2nd consecutive Williams 1-2, with Montoya following him home. 3rd place goes to Schumacher Sr. The result ensures that the title is definitely a 4-way struggle. The Williams pairing edge closer to Michael each weekend. But how did Ralph get one over on Juan Pablo?
I saw him going in and called the team to make the place for me after, because I knew that if I'd had stayed out a lot longer he would have catched me and I would have looked pretty strange, so I didn't want that to happen.